Earlier this summer, we visited the Vermont Business Expo in Burlington, where a few people involved in Vermont business highlighted limited access to capital as being one of the leading problems for small businesses in the state.
There's not much incentive for banks to take any risk. In fact, they're very risk averse right now. And some of it comes out of the Wall Street issues from 2007 and 2008 and the regulations that resulted from that. Sometimes the risk is you're having to put your house up, your personal home up and things like that, which is not really really you don't want to have to invest in your company by putting your personal assets on the line to that level. That's a pretty big risk.
Refinanced my house, borrowed money from my parents, hawked everything I had. Risk quite a bit.
You only do that when you believe in what you're doing.
The businesses we worked for, we couldn't change their mentality. So we decided, one day we're sitting at the Thanksgiving table, my brother and I, and decided we could do it better. That was in November at Thanksgiving, and April 1st we started the company with 9 people, and now we're 57 employees and $10 million.
People want to have innovation and they want new companies, and they're going to look for capital, and if they can't get it from a bank, they're going to look somewhere else. So your mom isn't going to give you any more money. You've tapped out your credit cards. What are you going to do?
We spoke with Commissioner Donegan about the Vermont Small Business Offering Exemption. This updated regulation that was created in its original form in the 1980s allows for Vermont companies to raise money for its operations in Vermont by offering stock only to Vermonters.
So we've had that law for the beginning of our securities laws. What's different now is that we have modernized the law to be more in sync with what the needs are in terms of the amounts of money that Vermonters can raise, and we've also streamlined the regulatory process so that you can actually get to market faster by going through almost like an expedited review with the Securities Division.
Village Builders is a small construction company based out of Wolcott, Vermont. They're the first company to take advantage of this updated regulation.
To get the capital that we're looking for, we have a 5-unit apartment house in Hardwick that we bought. That'll be the next one. That'll be where the initial amount of capital will be expended there to renovate that, get that up and going. I'd heard about VSBOT a few years ago. At that time you're limited to like $500,000 and a certain number of investors and stuff. And they've loosened the rules up. Bank financing is obtainable. It's a little bit harder than it was like 7 or 8 years ago. A lot more regulation, a lot more hoops you have to jump through. So that's why ultimately we went with VSBO, and we're offering an 8% yield with preferred dividend to kind of give the investor a return.
Now, there's trade-offs. When you offer stock in your company, you're giving up ownership to some degree of your company. So you are inviting people to come in and be owners with you. Now, you'll obviously be management and run the company, but you have to understand you have to report to shareholders, and they're going to want to know that the company's doing well and going to have to be transparent in the way that things are run.
So let's say you're an investor, and Mr. Investor invests $500, which is the minimum, or $5,000, and that's a lot of money to that person. I'm on the hook for probably $500,000. If I have to personally guarantee the invoice material that we buy and stuff like that there. I've had to put most of my rental properties are up for collateral. Yeah. So, yeah.
Big risk.
It is. Mm-hmm.